If you are looking for the cleanest and simplest CRM that already integrates with your Gmail, LinkedIn, Outlook, WhatsApp, and more, helps you manage your entire pipeline with one-click enrichment built in already so you don't have to pay for an extra tool, you are gonna love today's review. Because we are diving deep into Folk, and I am gonna show you everything you need to know, and by the end of this video, you're gonna know if this is the right tool for you. Let's get into it. Now, before we dive in, I do want to mention that I am an affiliate for Folk, so if you do decide to sign up with the tool, use that first link down below in the description and it helps support this channel. I am not being paid by them, and so this review is going to be completely honest, which you're going to see as we get more into the video. When you use that link down below, you'll get a free 14-day trial to get started, test it out, and get a feel for the tool with no risk. So let's talk about what Folk actually is and who it's for. Folk is a relationship management platform, also known as a CRM. It's designed to be beautifully simple without sacrificing the important features that actually matter. Now, this is no HubSpot, but it is trusted by over 4,000 companies, from small agencies to startups and sales teams and more. Now, in the future, I may do more comparisons around Folk and other major tools out there like HubSpot, Pipedrive, and more, but let me point out what the key benefit is of using Folk versus the competition. And it's not trying to be a CRM that manages transactions, it helps you manage the relationship, which in some ways is how your brain actually works, because we often don't look at people as transactions, but as relationships that started. Maybe there was a transaction at one point, then another point, and that entire relationship is what's being managed in Folk versus just getting someone to land a sale. Though you will land sales with it, it's not meant just for that. And for a lot of business owners out there, that's exactly what they actually need. Not complex software to try to close as many deals as possible, but clarity at all their relationships to be able to keep up with all of them and move them along the journey. Plus, with a super clean interface, if you like a tool like Notion and a lot of other great software companies out there, Folk looks the same. It's gonna feel very natural and intuitive with modern software, so you're not really having to learn a new and separate tool. Now, let's talk about some core features as you get up and running that are going to be really important. Let's start first with the setup and the Gmail integration, because that's what we used the most when we got started. Now, the interface is clean, so when you open it, you're not staring at 40 tabs, a cluttered sidebar, or a dashboard full of widgets you're never going to touch. It's structured, minimal, and intentional, and that is going to help you get started and use the tool consistently a lot faster. I would say the onboarding is really fast as well. If you need a turnaround with a CRM to get it up and running within 24 to 72 hours, you could easily do that with Folk. So you can import existing contacts via a CSV, or if you set up the integration as we did with Gmail, which you could also use Outlook, set up Google Calendar, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, you could do all of that. As soon as we set up our Gmail with Folk, it imported all our contacts. So within a few minutes, we had 1,100 contacts within our Folk account already set up. And this means that all my email history is now in Folk. So if I look at a specific contact, I could see every single conversation that I've had with that individual or that company. Which, by the way, your CRM could also be structured around companies as well, which is really powerful, as you may work with 2 or 3 or more people from a specific company in one relationship. Now, before we go further, I do want to say they do offer a desktop app, which is awesome. They do not have a mobile app, which I think would be great. That's a bit of a bummer, because I would love to be able to see my relationships on the go through a mobile app. Also, as far as I can tell, the app does not have automatic live updates. So if I am working on 2 separate devices, which I normally do, I have my laptop and then my home office computer, I have to refresh the app on the other device if I've made updates on the other device. Maybe that's just a nuance for me, but it is worth mentioning because I don't know how that works with various team members. If you have one person making updates on an account, but you don't see them and you don't know to refresh, that can be a little bit confusing if you're working at the same time. Now, we are going to talk about workflows and automations and the actual CRM experience in a moment, but one thing we need to talk about before we get there is the extension. Folk has an extension that you could add to your browser, and this is a big part of what makes Folk stand out in terms of getting new leads and growing your company. Basically, wherever you operate from on the internet, you could add someone to your CRM. So if you're on LinkedIn, you will have a dedicated button on a profile to add them to your CRM. You could do the same thing with Instagram, and you could do it with almost every major platform. And that means your ability to add contacts on the move and on the go while you're finding people either via LinkedIn or Instagram or growing your business in whatever way, you're easily able to add them to your CRM and then start the process of building that relationship. To me, that is super helpful. And this means that say you add someone on LinkedIn to your CRM, you click the one-click enrichment, and then you're able to potentially get their email as well to start a conversation and a relationship with them. And mind you, you don't need a third-party tool like Apollo or other tools out there, which means you don't need another tool on top of your CRM to be able to have enrichment that's already built in. So instead of having a fragmented relationship with any of your clients and customers or your partners or whoever you're working with, you will have one single source of truth that carries with it all the core information to run that relationship. And this means you're also not going to have a fragmented relationship with your customers, clients, partners, whoever you're working with. You won't have a conversation in WhatsApp that's separate from your email conversation. You have one single source of truth. Now, let's go into the software. We're going to talk about pipelines, views, custom fields, and more. Now, I'm going to talk about this through my context of running my YouTube business, but this is going to be relevant for you as well to get a sense of how everything works together from a new inquiry, whether it's inbound or outbound, to a sale, to then maybe work that needs to be done, repeated work that needs to be done, whatever that process may be. Now, for our business, we have 4 major pipelines, which is the first one is new leads, potential projects. The second one are active projects. The third one are long-term relationships, partnerships, brands we work with on an ongoing basis. And then the fourth one are freelancers or vendors who reach out to us who want to be part of the team. Each one of these has its own staging plus its own custom fields, which means you could fully customize the experience and the workflow of each one. So you could build multiple pipelines for completely different workflows, set up different groups, labels, categories to segment contacts however you need. And here's the detail I really want you to catch. You can choose exactly which fields appear right on the pipeline card itself as well. So when I am looking at a potential sponsorship, I do want to look at where we are in the pipeline, as well as what is the size of the deal, what stage we're at, and what the last communication was. And something I love too is with our 4 different pipelines, we also could have one contact who lives in multiple pipelines. So for example, I may be talking to a brand about a new deal while we're doing an active deal. And my team has clear visibility into Folk to see where someone is at in both of those pipelines. And let's get into the nuance a little bit. Let's say you have a bunch of contacts in a specific part of the pipeline. They haven't taken action yet, but you do want to offer them maybe a promo, communicate with them. You could email and easily message an entire status category of say 15, 20, whatever the number is of people in that specific status so that you can update them only instead of the entire pipeline, or having to manually set up a list, go through the process of figuring out who's on the list, who should be on the list. You would see it, you'd be able to send them a message directly, and you could also have a lot more workflows already built. And one small detail, and I know it's not the biggest thing, but it adds so much value, is that folk will go grab the company logo to add it to their profile, which gives you another visual way to quickly glance over your account, find specific companies and relationships within your account, and make it more delightful to use. And this week, as I was writing the script for this video, folk just took custom fields a step further with something they're calling AI fields. These are fields that literally update themselves. pulling data from the web, your emails, your notes, your calendar, so your CRM stays current without having to manually update anything. You can use them to tag a lead based on topics discussed in your email history, classify a company as B2B or B2C automatically, pull the latest news about a prospect right into their profile, or just clean up messy job title formatting across your whole database. The use cases here are pretty endless, and it is basically bringing the power of AI into your CRM in a very useful way. Now, if we are reviewing any software in 2026, we have to talk about AI. They have an AI assistant and automations built in. You could have an automation set up where if a contact moves into a certain stage, say a potential sponsor moves from brief sent to follow-up, we could have a workflow triggered that sends a personalized email to them automatically without us doing any extra work. So we do this by defining the trigger. We have the template built with as many variables as we want, and it will run automatically. This will also track open rates, replies, and bounce rates right inside of Folk. Next, the AI assistant is built in, and it already has 4 systems pre-built. First is the follow-up assistant, which will scan your email, your WhatsApp conversations, and detect when a thread has gone cold. You could specify how long that timeline is, and you could specify what that timeline looks like, but you'll be able to know who you need to follow up with at any given time. The recap assistant will give you an instant summary of your entire history with a contact before a call, which is really useful, instead of you having to go through emails and search it out. And the research assistant will enrich any kind of company information that is needed with your contacts. Automations and the AI assistant will always work in the background for you, and I love workflows like this that you set up once but can work for you 1,000+ times. Now, there are a couple things that I really wish Folk did differently. First, when I email someone in my pipeline, I have to manually go back into Folk and move them to the next stage. I'd love it if there was some type of prompt or auto suggest that says, hey, you just emailed Alexandra, should we move her to the next status? Something that connects the activity in the pipeline automatically with the conversations that are happening would be a game changer. There's a bit of manual work that you have to always keep in the back of your mind when a new email comes in, when someone's moving through the pipeline, and making sure you're continually keeping things updated. Next, the sidebar. When you open up your contact status options, you have a lot going on. I'd love the ability to have something as simple as dividers or section breaks. That way it can look more organized and easy to scan with a glance. And I mentioned it before, but not having a mobile app I think is a huge loss, because if I am emailing someone on the go or texting on the go, I won't be able to update their status. Now, let's talk about pricing, because this is where Folk makes a really strong case against some of the more expensive alternatives out there. Their base plan, the standard plan, starts at $24 per member per month on an annual basis, and it's $30 if you go month by month. This gets you pipeline management, email campaigns, contact enrichment, and the AI assistant, as well as full integration with the Folk X extension. You could also sync your email and calendar, and you have the ability to integrate with Zapier with more tools. Honestly, for most small business owners, this plan is going to cover everything you need. Next up is the premium plan, and this starts at $48 per member per month annually, or $60 if you pay monthly. This is going to add in email sequences, advanced roles and permissions, dashboards, and full API access with custom deal objects. Now, this is going to be great if you have a slightly bigger team or need more sophisticated reporting. Plus, if you do a lot of outbound and you're reaching out to more than 500 contacts per month, you're definitely going to want to consider this plan. You're going to be able to find emails for up to 2,000 contacts per month with the premium plan. Currently, I'm using the premium plan with my team. Then there is a custom plan, and this starts at $80 per member per month annually for businesses that need dedicated support and custom limits. Don't forget, there is a free 14-day trial, so you could get in there, no credit card required, build your pipelines, and actually test it before committing to anything. So is Folk the right fit for you? If you are running an agency, managing client relationships, tracking deals, onboarding new clients, Folk is going to give you the visual clarity to see exactly where every relationship stands without complicated systems or really expensive software. Plus, if you're running a sales team or a startup and you need to move fast, you can't afford to spend weeks onboarding with a CRM where you're in line with a lot of other companies before you could even get started. You need something that your team will actually use every single day, and Folk is built for that. If you're managing partnerships, whether they're brand deals like myself, affiliate relationships, vendor management, whatever your business looks like, Folk's multiple pipeline setup means every type of relationship has its own organized home without all getting tangled together and without it all being based on specifically transactions. So whether you're on a sales team, you're an agency, you're a startup, you're managing partnerships, or you are a VC and you want to manage all your relationships, if any of those sound like you, the best thing I could say is this is built for you, especially if you like beautiful software and you don't want to have to learn a brand new software and operating system that's going to cost you $900 plus per month per user. You could start your free trial, get a feel for it, build your first pipeline, and see how it fits with your business. Click that first link down below to get started today. And if you want more content like this, consider subscribing. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.